Hello, everyone, and welcome to It's Your Call, a series where we ask you what you would do on difficult bidding problems. Today, I'm joined by Kyle, who's been playing bridge for, 10 years now? And
Yeah,
his passion for bridge comes around the bidding. He has done a lot with system stuff, and he loves exploring new bidding theory and all sorts of things like that, which is awesome. We need a lot of bidding theorists. Some big bridge achievements that he's had is he recently in the Atlanta Nationals, he came seventh place in the Life Master pairs, which is one of those big events. So congratulations on that. He also, in a little bit more further back, in Reno, he won the 0 to 10K knockouts, and that was, 2 years ago in spring? And he also, during the COVID times, he kept playing online, and he also won the 0 to 1500 mini spin gold, and I think it was called the NAOBC at that time. So thank you for joining us on this week's It's Your Call, Kyle.
glad to be here. Should be fun.
Yeah, cool. So, as I mentioned before, you were in Atlanta this past, it was like 2 months ago now.
I
And
went. Yeah, it goes fast.
yeah, it goes by fast. It's 10 days, but, it feels like it's just like half a week. It just goes by so fast. I don't know. Did you want to share a little something that you had? Did you play against anyone notable? And did you have anything fun to mention?
We had some fun rounds. I don't know. The Rising Girl room was crazy. The one day I played in that, fun screaming, and that room was just really intense. It was a lot of fun to play for the first time.
Yeah, gotcha. So like the top level bridge players are all freaking out and everybody knows each other, right? So they're comfortable being a little bit crazy.
Yeah, for sure. There's some interesting screaming at each other between sessions, like next door. Excited. That room is, yeah.
All right. Yeah, awesome. So, without further ado, let's get into this week's It's Your Call. All right. So, starting with this hand, you've got the minors. You've got 5 diamonds, 4 clubs. It's not like an amazing hand, but it's something. So you start out, the bidding starts out with your partner opening 1 heart.
Sure.
Okay. And then East bids 2 hearts, alerted as Michael's, showing spades and a minor, 5-5 distribution. And now it's your call. I just wanted to really talk about the system here, since you're so interested in all this bidding stuff. Do you have any particular methods against this spades and unspecified minor that allows you to show your minors and any forcing bids, what's non-forcing here? So what are your thoughts immediately after this 2 hearts bid?
It's hard. I mean, most people play double. I mean, like over like an unusual 2-0, you'd play like double as usually penalty of at least one of their suits. I think you can still. I think it's probably generally best to play double of 2 hearts as at least penalty of something. So one of the possible minors or spades. I mean, there probably is room to play like transfers here if you really wanted. Like a natural 2-0 probably isn't that good. I
Agreed.
actually don't actually have methods here.
Oh, interesting. So we can like come up with some stuff. Fun. Um,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, because if it was the a more simple, Michaels, where you know what the suits are, you can do like unusual versus unusual style. Like if it was a 1 diamond, 2 diamonds direct Michaels, you know what the 2 suits are, and you can do some cubids. But here it's not so clear because you know 1 suit, but you don't know the other suit. So,
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time, like 2 spades would probably be a cubid limit raise support for hearts, because that's their defined suit, and then you know, but when it comes to the minors, would you just expect 3 of a minor here to just be natural competitive?
I think 3 minors should just be natural and forcing. I mean, like it depends. Like, do all of your like if you have a good 6 card suit that can easily get like buried in this auction, like if you double with all of your like game forcing hands, they could just blast 4 spades. Like what West could just raise to 4 spades, and then like you don't get any of your suits in. So I think 3 minor has to be natural forcing.
Okay.
You could play. I mean, you could play like something Lebenshallish here so that you have a drop competitive bid in minors and then play something forcing, or you can maybe play like transfer starting at 2-0. But like, I mean, that's over. I've never really seen anyone do that. That's pretty complicated, and I don't really think you need that sophisticated agreements. I mean, I would probably just double with like most of my flatter, not so shapely hands with at least length in one of the unbid minors,
Hmm.
and then 3 minors natural forcing. I think is like perfectly fine for most people. Like you get enough utility out of that.
Okay.
Uh,
And the other question I had in this situation is, what would you take three spades as?
that should be a splinter for hearts, probably. Unless I mean, you could play that as bid 3-0 with a spade stopper.
Hmm.
When they really show two suits, I like showing a stopper. But when only the spade suits known, you could play it as just as asking.
Gotcha.
Um, it's probably a splinter on discussed. I mean, uh, I don't really see what else it could be unless you really just metally play that,
Western
that
Cupids.
and it's always a relay to 3-0, which some
Right.
people like 3-0. So I mean that's certainly not a crazy agreement.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was the first thing that popped into my head. But yes, Splinter definitely makes sense in the context of this auction as well. So we're talking about how double is probably, the flattish hand. You've got one of the minors, and you would be happy to penalize in one of the unbid suits. Three of a minor is natural forcing, and two spades would be a limit raise in hearts. Clearly, that's out of the picture. And then we're not exactly certain what 2-0 would be. There's just a variety of things. You mentioned transfers. You mentioned something Lebensalish. But there's plenty of ways you could play over this. But based off of the more simple things that we've been talking about, it seems like the clear things here are either three diamonds, natural forcing, or double showing values and wanting to penalize in one of the other suits. So, which one are you leaning towards?
Leaning towards double because like I mean this isn't really a hand like where are we going if we bid 3 diamonds? Like we might not partner might only have 5 hearts. Um like how do we get to 3-0? Like where like what contract are we ultimately aiming for if we were to bid 3 diamonds? Like it just takes up a lot of space and you don't
Mm-hmm.
really know where you're going. And like 2-2 and like two small doubletons is often an extra loser. It's like not really a very like shapely offensive hand. Like we have like 3 quick tricks here and no fit.
Mm-hmm.
Like they could just be in a lot of trouble here, to be honest. If partner doesn't have a 6 heart. Like so, I probably even though the club suit isn't, you're not like thrilled to penalty double them in like 3 clubs or something, but
Mm-hmm.
like um, it just seems most optimal to start. Like, there's always room to get back on course if like they have a massive, spade club double fit or
Yeah.
the auction's not over. So
Yeah.
I'd probably double and see what happens.
Okay. So we're doubling. We're definitely looking for the potentiality of being in like a 3-no trump. Five diamonds is definitely an iffy contract, especially when you don't know who's got the diamonds. Um, So it goes double, and then partner here is going to bid 2-no trump. So first off, what do you think of 2-no trump as being?
I mean, this is kind of weird because normally you would just pass and like see what they do. Like, there's no danger of them buying 2 hearts. Like, when partner open heart. Um, so this should probably be like a weaker hand, like pick a minor maybe. But like also, why would you do that when East has a minor? Maybe it's just like a minimum hand with like 1 honor and spades. But again, like you could be penalizing spades. This doesn't happen very often. I mean, there should be some sort of minimum hand. I mean, you should have a spade stopper. Like, I don't think this is a big balanced hand.
Mm-hmm.
This is like I really hate my hand, and I don't want to penalize anything. But like, this kind of just seems weird to me. I don't
Yeah, it's just
know.
like you don't normally expect to see a 2-no trump here. And this could stem from my inexperience with bidding in these situations as well. Pass could
Sure.
definitely be the appropriate bid for partner's hand. It would just be like my first instinct after seeing the double here with that explanation would probably to bid 2-no trump. But 2-no trump is rarely ever natural, so it's really hard to tell, especially in an undiscussed auction. Um, so I think 2-no trump is definitely a fair bid here, based off of your explanations. Given that info, what are you thinking about?
Well, partner. Okay, so partner is probably some like a flat like 5-3-3-2 hand. Like, do they have a double stop in spades? Like with Jack and one spade, like we're certainly not worried about that. So it's like, what is their minor? Like if we raise this to 3-0, are we concerned of them like having like an ace and the ability to set up like four club tricks? At this point, I'd probably raise to 3-0. I don't know. I guess three minor natural and forcing around to 2-0. I think it probably is.
Mm-hmm.
Given that we started with a double, like it just doesn't seem like a new. It just doesn't seem like we'd want to get out in three minor unless like 2-0 shouldn't be scramble for a minor only because East showed at least one minor. So
Right, because the scrambling could end you up in a way worse spot.
yeah, so this just is like a desire to grab no trump early to right side like a no trump contract. So I think like we're in a force unless like South has like the most minimum like 11-point hand. Because like I mean, as we said, like North with like a king more than an opening bid, like probably just passes two hearts and to see what happens. So the question is like, is this good enough to game force across like a minimum thing? Um, like with Jack and one spade, we probably have a double spade stop. If partner like should be 5-3-3-2, so like clubs are no worse than like 5-4-2-2 around. Like hopefully partner is like uh the question is like what's partner's minor length that they're so afraid of this. Like the question is like if diamonds are a source of tricks, we probably just want to raise to 3-0. Like
Mm-hmm.
is partner allowed to have like queen and one diamond, like jack and one diamond, and like partner's 12 points has to be somewhere. Partner doesn't have like a good six hearts. Like I think you just auto raise this to 3-0 and see what happens. Like I'm not too worried about them running a source of tricks, and even if they are, like like we probably have like six tricks in our hand, right? Like maybe five
Mm-hmm.
diamonds, four diamonds, and the ace, and
Right.
even if partner is like a very broken hand of like not much of a source of tricks, like I just don't see a universe like we were getting ready to like slap them in something
Mm-hmm.
potentially. And I mean, and given that like there's also the important case Weston preference spades over the double, which is really
Yes.
important. So we have less than three spades. So partner probably has four spades in this auction, possibly, or like a good three. Because otherwise, if West is partner almost that's what makes sense. Partner has a bad four spades in this hand, or they would have been, or they maybe would have sat to double four spades. So like all roads are kind of pointing to 3-0, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The spade length is also bad for a second club stopper, but again, like partner shouldn't really be unbalanced here.
Yeah.
So at least a Doubleton club. So yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, a bit,
No,
but
you're all
yeah,
good. I mean, just hearing all of your thoughts, and you're hitting them on the nose too, which is awesome. Um, just the more you think, it does. Like there is a saying that the more you think, the worse you're gonna do. Think long, think wrong. Thinking long here is getting you closer and closer to the answer. And I definitely, I probably would have auto 3'd node here, especially at imp scoring, match point scoring. I don't know if it's as clear, but it's just hard to not be in game here when you know that partner has at least 12 points and you yourself have 12 points and you've got a great source of tricks and diamonds, as you were saying, and definitely a guaranteed spade, potentially two spade stoppers. So I
yeah.
think 3 no trump is clear and it goes pass, pass, and pass. Um,
There's ultimately nowhere to run. It's like
yeah. Um,
opening hand should have some play. So
right, exactly. Um, so the actual hand that partner has, I don't think you said a single thing wrong. It's ace fourth of spades,
okay,
ace queen fifth of hearts, queen x of clubs, and jack x of diamonds.
okay.
So I don't know if my two no bid assumption is particularly accurate. What would you have bid with North's hand given this context?
I mean, you could probably pass. Like partner's allowed to have extras. But
Okay.
like this says play for 3-0. Like you just duck spades twice, and like eventually you'll get to run the diamond through. Like you can stop South from being on lead if partner is the jack of diamonds to run. So like what do you get? Four diamonds. The ace of clubs, a spade is at least six, seven. I mean, like play for this isn't crazy.
Yeah,
Like
it
the heart rate
isn't.
is outside, even if the queen of diamonds is off. It might just be down one or something, but it's not. Like, I mean, they could also just lead a club, like, knowing partner doesn't have spade length. Like, it's definitely, like, harder for East to make a lead,
Mm-hmm.
given partner preference spades. And they may just lead a low club and give you the whole hand.
Right.
So it's not a bad contract at all.
Not a bad contract. We would
It's really
definitely.
hard. it is really hard to just like penalty double them in two spades and sit for that. Like eventually we might just fold to this anyway.
So yeah, how's it look for the two spades doubled? I think that they might have a chance at doing okay there.
I mean, if it only goes down like two, like it's not the biggest deal. Um, they don't. I guess like, do they have an entry to the board to like to pick up the club? Because then they could get like
Right.
four or three spades. They're gonna be leading out their hand a lot. Like I think this might be down three double dummy.
Yeah, it is very unpleasant.
Definitely could just tap them in diamonds and then like they never get to dummy. Like if they run like the ten of spades, like it goes duck duck once, like they can't play queen or you play ace, so like they never get to the board.
Yeah, that's the big deal there is you don't have any, like, everything's on side for you, but it doesn't matter because they can always prevent you from getting to the board, so you're never going to be able to set up your club suit easily.
Yeah, I mean you probably get four spades. Do you get like four spades in a club? I'm trying to think. Like you probably this is kind of hard to defend accurately, but so it starts like I mean you have to like double dummy defend like ace of diamonds, low diamond,
Hmm.
or weird like that. Like does this ever go like this probably goes down three or four realistically on good defense, maybe two on bad defense.
And I mean, like, let's say, like, if you instead had passed, uh, North had passed here, is East going to bid three clubs or are they going to bid two spades?
So he says good spades, so they can at least offer spades. You're not doubled yet, right? Like
Right.
the goal is to bid out on doubled at this point. So like you would bid two spades. So most people play the double of two spades as penalty. With my some of my regular partnerships, we play first double as takeout, which I think is like a more like European or like Southeast Asian approach to like some of these bidding sequences. So
Uh-huh.
like if you had the agreement like pass like shows like not spade shortness, like the North is like happy to double this in balancing seat, like knowing that partner has some wastage. Could really like get two spades a lot here. Now it's hard for South to directly penalty double this.
Mm-hmm.
So like in standard, if double is just penalty, like South passes, and then like what's North gonna do in balancing seat? Like maybe you pull the 2-0. Um, maybe you double if you're feeling lucky. Like it's kind of hard. And then you could easily get to 3-0 from here. It's really about it's hard when like the spade length is kind of split like this. Like South, like Jack and one may be part of a defensive trick if partner is some spade length. If
Mm-hmm.
they don't, it could just be total crap that you don't really want to penalty double them with. And then like ace empty fourth like feels good across shortness to like be in a suit strain. But like partner's not suggesting anything, so
Right.
um, it's kind of hard. Like you probably would just penalty double. Like even if South's double is penalty of two spades, like the North hand probably just penalty doubles and pass out seat because like partner has had like two chances to like show a 6 card minor or something. Like
Right. And they
partner's
didn't.
like partner's like 5-5 in the minors. Like I don't know what they're doing over two spades, but like with a stiff spade, I feel like you're bidding three spades or like or you're bidding a minor at this point, which would be forcing around. You're not gonna like sit with your stiff spade necessarily. So like this is hard. Even like top level partnerships might struggle without like great agreements. And I've got to find that equilibrium of like when do we trap them versus like when do we practically describe our hand, and it's not always easy.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. Because both things like you're tempted to do here. Um, yeah, I was just out of my element when I saw this, and I was just like, okay, I want to know what other people would do on this. So thank you again, Kyle. We This was this week's It's Your Call. What would you guys do? It's definitely a difficult thing. What are your methods over this particular situation where they're showing a definite suit and an undefinite suit with their Michaels? It's definitely not easy. And would you have gone the more active route of showing your hand or the more, double them and get them down route with either of these hands? Please let us know in the comments down below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more It's Your Call content. All right, thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Cheers.